It's Washtenaw Remembered on the Lucy Ann Lance Show, Ann Arbor's talk station, 1290 WLBY. Kiwanis International was founded in Detroit, Michigan in 1915 by a group of businessmen. By 1919, the group identified its focus to service, specifically service to children. A few years later, the Kiwanis Club of Ann Arbor was organized May 13th, 1921, and was chartered on June 13th, 1921. And yes, our Kiwanis Club of Ann Arbor is celebrating its centennial this year, 100 years. Joining us to talk about it, two past presidents of our Kiwanis Club of Ann Arbor. They are active members, and it's just an incredible club. The members that are in Kiwanis Club of Ann Arbor are so active, and they do so much good for our community, and we are really grateful. We welcome Peter Shork and Dale Leslie. Peter, give everyone an idea of the kinds of service that Kiwanians do for our community.
Well, hi, Lucianne. Kiwanis is, again, one of the top providers of community service. Our club is known for its great rummage sale, which I'm sure we'll chat about. For many years, we served the children of the county by going out to Green Oaks and visiting the young people who are incarcerated. Always a fun event. We've done a tremendous job delivering meals for many, many years. We are heavily active in pretty much every civic project that goes on. And one thing that we like to highlight is our relationship with Washtenaw Community College. This year, we did more than $70,000 worth of scholarships to young people around the county. And interestingly enough, not always so young people. We had a guy I went to high school with that we gave a scholarship for 2 years ago. Kiwanians are all about giving back to the community and working to do so. Great sale, as I'm sure we'll chat about.
Well, since 1921, through the proceeds from that Kiwanis thrift sale that you mentioned, and gifts and work from your members, volunteers, and staff, you've provided more than $8.5 million in grants, services, and merchandise to children, families, and individuals across our community. So that is a tremendous impact. Dale, tell us more about the history of Kiwanis. And I've never had anyone explain to me where the name comes from.
Well, it's an Indian term, expression maybe is a better word. The Indian expression was Nunk Kiwanis, which means we trade. And in its initial stages, Kiwanis was primarily for that purpose, to trade among its members. But they soon discovered, what most of us know, that there's very little reward in doing something as a group that doesn't help the community. And so Kiwanis evolved from there, from basically I'll scratch your palm, you scratch mine, to, fundamentally to improve the community type organization. And our next expression was we build. And we had that as our motto for many years. And now we voted to adopt the slogan, serving the children of the world. And that we live up to.
And Peter, how do you determine, how does the group itself determine what kinds of projects you're going to work on?
We have the most elaborate committee structure in history of mankind backing us, about 35 different committees. We have a youth committee, we have a community relations committee, we have an adult senior committee, and they all get together and with an overriding committee that determines how many dollars we're going to give, and then our budget and finance committee. So Lucianne, out of our 150 or so members, I bet almost 100 of them are somehow involved in the process of determining giving in one regard or another. It is a very massive group effort. And historically, in the last couple of years, that amounts to $300,000 to $400,000 to $500,000 in actual cash gifts, as well as hundreds of thousands of dollars in vouchers and community giving of items from our sale. So phenomenal number, $500,000 or more in actual funds going back into the community.
Yeah, it really is. Dale, tell us a little bit more about what we know about those early days of the Kiwanis Club of Ann Arbor and how it began.
Well, shortly after it was formed, we started the hospital school at Mott Hospital, and that, of course, has evolved to a statewide project. But what we're most known for, our thrift sale, began in 1927. While Lindbergh was crossing the Atlantic, we were building a rummage sale using vacant city stores and other locations. And it was very successful right from the outset. And another major step occurred in 1968 when we bought our own building, which is rather unique for most service organizations to own the building that they use to meet and do projects in. And since that point, since we had our own building and able to store things year round, that's when the gross sales just took off phenomenally. And we went from one sale a year. We have now a sale when the students return. We have a Christmas-oriented sale. And then plus being open every Friday and Saturday. So the amount of revenue that's generated is just unbelievable. I used to own a store, and if we did $1,000 a day in cash sales, that was a success. Here we're doing $10,000 and $12,000 and $15,000, and it's stuff that's just a nickel and dime. Well, for the most part.
It just goes to show you how many people love the Kiwanis thrift sale.
Oh,
and
gosh.
Peter, Dale mentioned the building that you had bought in downtown Ann Arbor for this, and then recently you moved over to the west side of town.
Correct. We needed more space, and especially for storage. We're in a 120,000-ish square foot building. We use about 80,000 square feet for retail space and storage, and we have 3 fellow tenants. Lucianne, 10 years ago, if you had asked me, it would have been a pipe dream, but we're now more than $1 million in revenue a year. COVID obviously slowed us down, but picking right back up. We've had, as Dale was saying, we've had some very good success on our Friday and Saturday sales again. And we're starting on Saturdays to take items back in. As you know, it's fantastic that we're putting all this money back in the community, but we're also probably the best recycler in town. We take things in, we make them look shiny, and they go back out the door. All or most of the items could end up in the waste cycle.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And Dale, if someone has items they'd like to donate to the Kiwanis thrift sale, how can they do that?
Well, we receive donations primarily on Saturday during our normal business hours, 9 to 1. We have a huge auxiliary truck that we place those items in, so people that have things to donate are handled pretty quickly and efficiently. And we do have a phone number if someone needs a pickup because they can't bring the item to us. And that's 734-665-0450. And so that's another way that they can donate.
Well, and Lucianne, if you ever want to drop anything off on Saturday, you're likely to see your oldest and dearest friend, that being me, working out there on the dock. So come see me, pal.
In fact, all you Kiwanians work so hard out there. I can't believe it when I see what's going on.
That's one of the things I want to mention. We are a hands-on service club. Sure, as Peter said, we write checks to support nonprofits. But I like the old dirt under your fingernails illustration of what a Kiwanian is. And as you can see, running a sale and doing other projects, our group is very active in our different areas.
And Dale, what are some of the more unusual items you've seen come into the sale throughout the years?
Well, we used to take bowling balls. We got wise and discontinued that. But for a while, we had a lot of bowling balls until a pig farmer came in from Stockbridge and he said, I'll buy every single ball you have. And he took them home and threw them in his pig pen. And the pigs just had a great old time with their snouts pushing those balls around in the pig pen.
Those are some strong snouts. Now that's
another good story is a lady called her neighbor friend and said, can you come over? I want to show you what I bought at the Kiwanis sale. And she says, I think I had a real bargain. So the woman came over and she said, here, what do you think of these dishes? She said, Madeline, those are the ones I gave Kiwanis yesterday.
Oh, that is
Said the
beautiful.
neighbor's Christmas.
That is beautiful. I love that story. Oh my
Oh,
goodness. One
oh,
person's trash is another person's treasure,
there
and you
you
can
go.
find it at the Kiwanis thrift sale each week. It's just amazing. And you can go online to a2kiwanis.org. That's Kiwanis. The number 2, Kiwanis.org, and check out their website for all the information. Let's talk a little bit more as we continue our conversation with Dale Leslie and Peter Shork from the Kiwanis Club of Ann Arbor about the impact you have in the community. Peter, some of the projects that the Kiwanians work on, and they're funded through the sales that you're able to do and the money you're able to generate through the thrift shop. But give everyone an idea of how this money is funneled out into the community.
So, besides the scholarships, we give an enormous amount to social service agencies that help youth and homeless and shelter, both money donations, physical checks, and also items. We supplied Avalon House's new project on Maple with all their major furniture. We supply, through our voucher program, individuals who are reestablishing their households. Very important. So our number one goal is to try to help the individual and lift them up on their own. It's charity, but it's also giving them a chance to make it on their own. And it's an important part of who we are. You'd be amazed, Lucianne, on a Thursday morning, how many individuals are coming there that we're one-on-one helping. And again, 4,000 to 5,000 items every Saturday are sold. Many of them household, many of them clothing. Lucianne, one other thing we do is we cannot possibly sell all the stuff that we get. So we give massive donations of clothing and shoes, and especially books, to other agencies in the area who have more the ability to deliver directly where we do not.
And Dale, the Kiwanis Club of Ann Arbor also participates in Meals on Wheels, another great nonprofit organization.
That is, to me personally, the most rewarding thing that we do. And I know when I make a delivery that in some cases, people living individually by themselves, I'm the only person they might see all day. And if that doesn't warm your heart, I'm not sure what does. There's one lady over by St. Thomas Church, and when I come in with the meal, she's already sitting at the kitchen table, and I know exactly where to put it. And she thanks me, and then she says, "On your way out the door, there's a fish bowl full of candy. You grab a piece of candy on your way out the door."
Oh, how beautiful.
I got back in the car, and my partner said to me, "You're not going to eat that, are you?" I said, "Are you kidding me? It's probably since Moses was a lad."
How wonderful, though. But
Well,
it speaks to the fact that she's so, pleased that
yeah,
you're helping her. She wants to do something for you.
that's exactly right.
That's important.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And boy, that's heartwarming.
Yeah, that really is. Peter, the scholarships that the Kiwanis Club of Ann Arbor sponsors, how do those work?
Well, Lucianne, this is a great question. So for many, many years, we gave 8 scholarships directly to what was then, and you're in my day, the 3 high schools in Ann Arbor. And actually at St. Thomas was involved back then, $1,000 apiece. The way it's evolved now is we use the backbone of Washtenaw Community College, who has a fantastic group that does their development for raising money for students. We give $3,500 scholarships to as many students as we can. It's called a Finish Line program. And in essence, what we do is they try to find individuals who might not be able to financially finish up their last year or two of school, so they can get their associates. Many of them have gone on to Michigan or Eastern, which have joint programs, as you know. So direct aid to students at WCC. This last semester, I think there were 30 kids, and 28 of them did better than 3-point averages, and our average GPA was 3.4 of the students we sponsored.
Fantastic.
And many of these wonderful human beings would not be able to finish school. Talk about rewarding. you change a person's life by helping them get a degree.
And that's what the Kiwanis Club of Ann Arbor does. Peter Shork, Dale Leslie. And Dale, one final thought. I know that you're always looking for new members at the Kiwanis Club of Ann Arbor. Someone who is interested, tell us how they can become part of the Kiwanis Club.
Well, probably the best way is through our website, Kiwanis.org, or they can use our phone number, 665-0450, area code 734. My dad was a Kiwanian. I've been a member of this club for 40 years. It's been thoroughly enjoyable. The people you come in contact with, not only as fellow members, but the people that benefit from our philanthropy. It's just, the reason I think it's lasted as long as it has is because it's a win-win-win situation. People are glad to get rid of their articles. We're more than happy to take them and put them out for sale, and the people that buy them are in many instances can't afford to buy anything brand new.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win-win situation, and I just think it's going to go on forever as far as I'm concerned.
And I think that is the most visible part of Kiwanis. I think most people know about the thrift shop, but it's the intangible things that you're doing that people don't always see, and that is the money that's going in that Peter was talking about for scholarships, helping Meals on Wheels, bell ringing at Christmas time on behalf of the Salvation Army. Everything that you can imagine that needs service, Kiwanians are there to do it. And we thank all of you for it. Dale, you mentioned you've been a member for 40 years. Do you have any idea of your 150 members who has been there the longest?
Yes, Dick Benedict. Dick used to be a friend of the court here in Washtenaw County, and he has been a member well over 50 years. I think he might be up in the latter part of the 50s, and very active to this day. And his wife, Alyssa, is also a renowned psychiatrist, and they both love Kiwanis and its activities. So there's no question about who the oldest one or most senior one is.
Lucianne, I'm going to add to that because it can involve you indirectly. So Dick Benedict joined our club in March of 1963. As you might recall, my friend, I was born April 6, 1963, and my friend Lucianne Lance, and I like to remind her this every year, came to see me at Bayer Hospital the day I was born.
I did.
So we know Dick's been a member for 58 years.
I was 2 years old at the time.
I think your parents were with you. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Now that's funny. Well, a salute to the Kiwanians. Thank you for your service to our community, and happy 100th anniversary to the Kiwanis Club of Ann Arbor. Visit Kiwanis.org. Our thanks to past presidents Dale Leslie and Peter Shork on Ann Arbor's Talk Station, 1290 WLBY.